Hi friends, today we're going to be talking about our quiz on qualitative graphs. Looking at number 1, it reads a function has the following properties. It is increasing in linear when the value of x is between -5 and -3. Okay, so I'm going to just start right off and go piece by piece and make check marks. So looking at the first graph, it is increasing in linear when the value of x is between -5 and -3. Okay, so A, that could work. B, that could work. C, that could work. And D, increasing in linear, -5 and -3, D could also work. So all 4 is a possibility for the first one. So I'm going to check the first one off. Okay, looking at the second one, it remains constant when the value of x is between -3 and 0. Okay, so now we're looking for a constant. That means it's going to be a straight line going from left to right. A could work. B could not work, so B's out. C could work. And D could work. Okay, so we're down to A, C, and D. All right, looking at number 3, it is decreasing in linear when the value of x is between 0 and 3. Okay. Decreasing in linear. A could work. C could not work. That's increasing in linear. D, decreasing in linear. That could work. Okay, so now we're down to A and D. The last statement here says it is increasing in nonlinear when the value of x is between 3 and 5. Okay, so this is increasing in linear, so A is not a possibility. D is increasing in nonlinear from the value of x 3 to 5, so our correct graph here is D. Looking at number 2, it says the graph shows the velocity of a train over a period of time. Which statement best describes the change in velocity shown in the graph? Okay, so A says a train increases its velocity at a constant rate, stops at a station, and then increases its velocity at a constant rate. Okay, A is not a possibility. If we were to stop here, this would go straight down to 0. Okay, so A is not a possibility. B, a train decreases its velocity at a constant rate. Well, right away I see here we're increasing. So B could not be a possibility. C, a train increases its velocity at a constant rate, travels at the same velocity, then increases its velocity at a constant rate. C is our correct answer. If you look at this graph, we're increasing at a constant rate, then it stays at the same velocity, and then it increases its velocity again at a constant rate. So C is the correct answer for number 2. Looking at number 3, it says consider the following graph. Mark true or false for each statement about the graph. All right, so looking at number 3, it says there is a minimum value of -2, +7. Well, there is a value at -2, +7, but that's actually going to be our max for this graph. So this is false. The second statement says the graph is decreasing after x equals -2. So I look, x equals -2 is here. And yes, we are decreasing after x equals -2, so that is true. And then it says the graph is nonlinear. That is also true. This is not a straight line. So those are our statements for number 3. Flipping over to number 4, it says the graph shows the number of hours spent playing video games. Mark true or false to indicate which statement is true based on the graph. Okay, so looking at the first statement, it says the play time is increasing from day 2 to day 4. So here's day 2. Here's day 4. We're not increasing, we're decreasing. So this statement is false. Looking at the second statement, the play time between day 6 and day 7, here and here, is increasing. Well, no. As I highlight here, it's actually going down. It should say decreasing, so this is false. Looking at the third statement, The maximum number of hours of play in a single day is 8 hours. Well, that's true. This is the highest amount of playtime there is, and we're at 8 hours. So that is a true statement. And then the last statement, the playtime is constant from day 4 to day 6. That is true. From day 4 to day 6, we have a straight line here. That means it's constant. That is a true statement. Looking at number 5. Number 5 says the number of texts decreased at a constant rate, then was constant, and finally increased at a constant rate. And then it asks, is the graph linear or nonlinear? Okay, so looking at here, it says the number of texts decreased at a constant rate. So we're going down. Number of texts decreased. Let me try and do this as straight as I can. Then, oh my goodness, I cannot draw a straight line. Then it was constant, and finally it increased at a constant rate. This is what the graph should look like. Decreasing at a constant, was constant, and then finally increased at a constant rate. And this is a non-linear graph. All right, looking at number 6, it says write an equation in slope-intercept form from the graph below, then interpret the slope and the y-intercept. We're looking at Linda's dog service. And we're given a graph, and we need to figure out an equation of this graph. So I'm going to use my knowledge about slope. This is a review question. So I'm starting at this point here. I know this is a point where my line crosses the y-axis, so that's my y-intercept. So my b in this graph is 10. Now I need to find my m, or my slope, from this 10 to this next point where the line crosses on the graph. I go up 5 because I'm counting by tens here, and I go to the right 20. So my m, or rise over run, is 5 over 20. If I were to simplify that, I would need to divide both the top and the bottom by 5. I would get 1 over 4. So my m is 1 over 4. So my equation then would be y equals 1/4 x plus 10. And the slope interpretation, so if I'm trying to interpret this, I just need to put it into words. So what that would mean is that for every 1 minute, let me make sure I have this right here. Arises. Yes, okay. So it costs $1 per every 4 minutes. And it costs $10 initial fee for her to walk your dog. Good job, friends.